What's up guys, it's ALLDAYANTHONY and welcome back to the Civic vlog that you hopefully know and hopefully love. Because in today's video, we are rattle canning my $900 Honda Civic. Yeah, let's go. Alright guys, so in today's video we are putting the B in budget because we are spray painting a good fifth of this car right here. And yes, you heard that correctly, spray painting. Now if you watch my previous video, you'll know that I went through and detailed the entire interior of this car, making it look and feel amazing. However, the exterior was another story. Now, going into this build, I knew I was gonna have to do some paint work. Now, one thing I was planning on doing was painting the side moldings of this car myself via rattle cans. I was gonna do that to save money in the overall budget of this build, and I thought I could do a pretty good job. And I think I did. Now, what I wasn't planning on was painting everything else. So what I mean by that is that I picked up an extra front bumper from the junkyard. I paid all of $40 for it, and luckily for me, it was already in the taffeta white, but it was in rough condition and needed a respray. Now, the other things I was planning on doing was color matching the side skirts of the car, as well as painting my eBay front lip and my eBay front grille. Now, for that, I was gonna take it to my friend Jonathan because he is a professional painter and has a nice shop, and was gonna do it for a relatively good price. However, that's when things changed. Basically, he was having some issues with his gun where he was shooting out a ton of fisheyes. Basically, his lines were clogged and something wasn't working right, and he couldn't get somebody to come fix it in time. I waited about a month, and that was kind of the stagnant period of this car where not a lot happened. So after all that time, I thought, hell, I'm gonna have to do it myself. So the second paint session was completely unplanned for this car. I ended up rattle canning the front bumper, the front lip, the side skirts, and the grille. It was the most I've ever spray painted in one go, and I guess you'll just have to watch to see what happened. So what I'm gonna do is show you the first bit of me painting the side moldings, and then the second bit of me painting the rest of the parts. Now my friend Jimmy was able to get some awesome cinematics of this process in my makeshift paint booth. It was super janky, but I think it turned out pretty good. And again, I think you guys will just have to see it for yourself to know how it turned out. So that's enough blabbering, let's jump into the painting. All right guys, so I had some extra time at work today, so I decided to tackle the side moldings on the Civic here. So these are pretty rough. Most of that paint they're missing was from before sanding, so I decided to refinish them. And so what I'm gonna do today is sand them down, starting pretty low, working my way up to about, I don't know, maybe 400, 600. And then I'm gonna shoot my primer, level out my primer, sand it down just a little bit, shoot my color, and then shoot my 2K clear. And here's the other side molding for reference here. So this one, not bad. I could have color chipped a lot of this right here, but that's such a big area right there. I thought, why the hell not? I'm just gonna refinish the rest of it. I already pulled out the rear molding, so why not do the fronts the right way? So I'm doing this one as well. This one should look hopefully close to new. Here's the rears here. These are the roughest by far. So once I sand these things down, reshoot them, it's just gonna look a whole hell of a lot better. And so I'd rather, like I said, reshoot these instead of Dr. color chipping them. So hopefully those will turn out pretty good. All right, so I found a old Subaru box in a warehouse, and I decided to do my painting of the moldings here. It's kind of controlled area, and there's no wind or anything. So just shot my first coat of my flexible primer. So it's a fillable and flexible primer, so I can sand this down if I need to, and then start laying the base coat. So the base coat was color matched, so I got this right here. Got this at my little local Napa Auto Parts paint center, and they color match to the white. So pretty much right, I basically have the color match right next to the molding, so I know that this will match. And I'll shoot it with this, then hit it with the 2K clear. I think it's gonna turn out pretty good. All All right, time to spray some color here. Do a quick little test spot. Looks white. So I'm gonna go ahead, first coat. All right guys, so this is after 3 coats of the base coat and the color finally started to come through. So after the first couple sprays, it didn't quite look right, it was a little blotchy, but after that 3rd coat, it really filled in and looked like it should. So color looks spot on, super happy with that. Now I can't wait to shoot it with clear, because that's where we're gonna get all of the gloss. All right guys, and here is the final result after the 3rd coat of 2K Clear, and they look fantastic. Lots of gloss, minimal orange peel. My goal is to not have to sand these and have to finish them out. I'd like to just throw them on the car, but I think I did a pretty good job. Basically, the 2nd coat looked pretty good. Then once I threw in the 3rd coat, it really started adding a lot more gloss and a lot more depth. And so I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I really have no complaints. There are moldings. Not gonna be too crazy about them. So anyways, that's good. I'm gonna let them probably cure for a couple days because I have to press these into the door. I don't want to leave any thumbprints if the clear is too soft. So I'm gonna let them cure out for probably 2 days or so, let them bake out in the sun, and then I'll be able to install them in the car. All right, so these side moldings turned out pretty dang good if I say so myself, but now it was time for the big job. So let's knock out that bumper, that lip, that grille, and those side skirts. Let's begin. All right, so here is the eBay front grille here that, as you can see, I've been sanding down with 600 grit and prepping it for paint. So the quality of this thing is pretty crazy. I mean, basically, flipping it over here, you can see the clips of where it clips into the stock bumper. But I think compared to how they used to make these grills back when I was in the Hondas as a teenager, they've improved these tenfold. And so I think that the mesh actually looks really good. I'm sanding up to that point there, then masking everything off here within this mesh, then spraying this around here to get it color matched to the white. So I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. I think I'm gonna finish it out with the 600 and then do my primer, basically build that up, sand it down a little bit more to get it perfectly smooth, and then come back through the base coat and then 2K clear. All right guys, so doing some very amateur body work here on the new white bumper for the Honda Civic. So this is the junkyard bumper, not the original bumper to the car. So I went through, sanded everything down. So I used 600, which I think will give me enough grab for the primer. I might go down to like a 400 maybe, we'll kind of see. But I'm pretty much down to the base coat at this point, so there's no more clear left on the car. This is all just base. And so from there, we're gonna mask everything off here, on here, and here. One of the things I hate the most about when people respray Honda Civic bumpers is they just shoot all this white and it looks horrible. So I want to mask that off to make sure that this keeps the OEM black look on there and on the little vent pieces right here. It makes it look nice and clean. So basically, this point, waiting for this Bondo to cure, sand that down because there's just a little bit of damage here. Once that's sanded down, after that point, I mean, we're doing basically a solvent prep. And then going through and then spraying our primer with adhesion promoter and flex agents built into it. And then we can hit with our base coat and then 2K clear. All right, so an update on the Bondo here. Got this all filled. So it looks worse than what it is. Basically the indentions are right here, 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 a little bit here, a little bit here. Filled that in, sanded everything down. So really, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be not 100% good, but it's gonna be 90% better for sure. So at this point, I'm gonna start taping everything off here. Tape that, tape everything here, tape that, and then shoot it, man. I'm excited. I'm hoping that this turns out as good as I think it's gonna turn out. Who knows? All right, guys, so I am well on my way for the ALLDAYANTHONY famous Rattle Can paint job. So as you can see, I have the side skirts laid out, front lip over here, bumper and grill. Everything's been masked off. I've gone ahead and done the primer so far, so 3 coats total. I think it'll be good enough. I'm not too focused on painting the areas underneath, like the side skirts, for example, so much the bottom of the lip, but I want to get everything that you're gonna be able to see, and I still want to do a good job. It's just, holy crap, I forget how much paint you actually end up using. I went through 2.5 cans of primer so far. I'm gonna hit it just a little bit more, just kind of making an even 3, and then jump into the base coat. Got some T-Bell, Crunchwrap Supreme. Color's done. It's white. Pretty close. I was really cutting the line there with the paint. I only grabbed 3 cans of color match. I probably should have grabbed 4, but I think it'll all start coming together once we start shooting it with the 2K clear. All right, guys, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I think this might, just might, be my best Rattle Can job yet. So taking a look at my work here, here are the side skirts. The final coat of 2K clear was laid about 30-40 minutes ago, so it started to tack up pretty nicely, but you can see all that gloss coming through and looks fantastic. I mean, both of them look great. Even the front lip looks pretty good. I will have to come back through with 3000 grit sandpaper and then compound and polish everything out, of course. But for what it is, straight out of a can, not a gun, a can, this looks pretty damn good. So it just goes to show you can still have a pretty good finish with a Rattle Can, of course, if you know what you're doing. And so I want to point out, though, the bottom of the side skirts didn't have enough paint. Didn't have enough paint to hit those, and nobody's going to see that anyways, so it's good enough. But what I'm most proud of, the thing I'm most proud of out of this entire job is probably this grill right here. So I put quite a bit of time into masking everything off. This is the eBay grill. It's a $13 grill that has probably $50 worth of paint on it. But I think the masking job in the middle, I think that's where, you know, it took me a lot of time to try to get it almost perfect. It's not 100%. One little area right there that's kind of popping out to me. But overall, though, it's an eBay grill. And it was color matched, spray painted out of a Rattle Can. And I don't think you can ask for much better. And so, looks great. And then the other thing, right? I've never painted a bumper before. First time ever painting a bumper with Rattle Cans, and even this turned out awesome. Masked everything off here, because one of my biggest pet peeves in the Honda world is when people don't mask off these little vent-shaped things here, the grill portion of this, and it just doesn't look right to me. So, masked everything off there, front and back, to prevent any overspray from getting back underneath. But this turned out pretty good. I have one little spot right there I need to cut off with a razor blade, but overall that looks great. My Bondo job, okay, I don't really want to talk about that, but even this over here, I cut that in perfectly. Again, didn't have enough paint to the underside of the bumper. There's no point. Nobody's going to see that, and the lip is actually going to be covering this portion right here anyway, so didn't really feel the need. But overall, guys, I don't know, let me know what you think. I mean, I did a pretty good job. I think I did a pretty good job, but you guys are obviously the judge here, so I want to get your thoughts. But yeah, I'm pumped, super jacked up on this. I saved a ton of money. I saved a ton of money doing it myself. I think total paint cost for everything was roughly $220, which included 2 cans of the flexible primer, and then 3 cans of color matched paint done at my local shop, and then 3 cans of 2K clear, and I think like 20 sheets of sandpaper. So, and then what else did I get? Masking tape, another 10, 15 bucks, whatever it was. So yeah, everything came out to around 220 bucks. And so if I would have taken this to a shop, they may have charged me, I don't know, 400, 500, 600, but I did all the prep myself and obviously painted it myself. So I'm proud, guys. I'm super, super proud. I cannot wait for this to cure up, get it on the white Civic. I think the biggest thing that's gonna make the difference is gonna be color match side skirts, the new grille, and then this lip, if I can get it mocked up and sit perfectly. Pumped, super, super pumped. So here's a look at all the paint supplies I used for this process. So this does not include the prep stuff. This is just the painting portion here. So once everything was prepped, I went through with a solvent and wiped everything down with a microfiber towel. Once everything was wiped down, I was ready for my primer. So I used the SEM Flexible Primer Surfacer. It's got built-in flex agents and adhesion promoter in there. Laid this down. Once I did 3 coats of that, I went through with my 600 grit and wet sanded off any rough spots and got it perfectly level. And then after everything was level, I went back through, tacked everything down. I may have used a little bit more solvent, I can't remember, but I did tack everything down, and then I started adding my color. So this was the color that I had done at my local Napa paint shop. They did a color match scan on the car, and I got this done up. So I got 3 cans of this, and I used all 3 cans. And basically, I think about three and a half coats to get it perfect, because I had to fill in a lot of that primered area. In white, you just tend to use quite a bit of. I didn't know that. So used quite a bit of this, used all 3 cans. And then after that, I waited for that to tack up, and then I wiped it down with my tack cloth. Now, before I jump into the 2K clear, you definitely need a respirator. So I borrowed this respirator for my work and used that, but you don't want to shoot this stuff without a respirator. Guys, 2K clear is pretty nasty stuff. You don't want to breathe it in. So either wear a mask or use a respirator. So once that was done, it's time to jump to the fun stuff. I used 3 cans of 2K clear. Basically, I think it was about 3 to 4 coats. I got it to gloss up, and then I called it good, and I was pretty happy with how it turned out. So all in all, so 2 cans of primer, 3 cans of color, 3 cans of gloss of the 2K clear coat, and I was good to go. All right, guys, and that's it. What do you think? Pretty good? My biggest advice, 2K clear, baby. That is the way. I will live and die by 2K clear. I really do think that that's some of the best shit you can get, especially when it comes to rattle canning. Overall, man, I am so freaking happy with the results. And yes, all of the panels are back on the car. Unfortunately, I did not film me putting back on the front bumper, putting on the side skirts or anything like that. I'm sorry, I wish I would have got it, but I was kind of in a rush. Now, one more thing I want to note. My rear bumper on this car was also in pretty rough shape, and fortunately, another junkyard run yielded a rear bumper in taffeta white, and it was close to perfect. It was in pretty good shape, much better than the one I previously had. So I ended up swapping that onto there too. So yeah, at this point, my car is all one color. It has no major paint chips, has no major paint missing or anything like that. And I cannot wait to polish this thing to really bring out the gloss. So now here's where you're gonna hate me, because while yes, everything is on the car and is all one color and looks awesome, I'm not gonna get out and show you. Now, before you hit that dislike button, because I know you're heading for that, just wait, because I'm gonna have the wheel and tire install video coming next. It's gonna be a short one, but you're gonna be able to see the final result. And yeah, I really wanna build this up to really show you guys and kind of reveal this as being awesome. And I feel like right now, I wouldn't be doing justice because it's still on hubcaps. It's not super awesome, but yeah, wait for the wheel and tire install. You'll be able to see the final result, and I kind of cover some more things in that install as well. So anyways, guys, hopefully you found this video enjoyable and prove that you too can spray paint your own parts with good results and save a ton of money. So as always, guys, if you guys like the Civic content, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more, and I'll catch you guys next one. It's ALLDAYANTHONY. Peace.